In this video today, I'm going to share how I was able to escape the UK and move here and live on a tiny little island in Thailand, and more importantly, how you can do it too. So this is where I'm staying at the moment, this little house here. This is the little garden, and this is the view right in front of where we're staying. And what's crazy is that this little house here, right, with this beautiful little garden and this beautiful view here, cost 800 baht a night. So that's about £20 a night, or maybe so $25, $26, something like that. A giant litter tray. So yeah, that's where I'm staying. I mean, every morning I get up early, walk about 10 minutes to the beach. It's Lonely Beach up there. I'm staying on Koh Chang at the moment. Every morning, get up, walk to the Lonely Beach, 10 minutes away. Then I go have a little dip in the sea for 10 minutes, come out, listen to an audiobook whilst I walk up and down the beach, have a little meditation. Then on the way back, get a smoothie or a fresh coconut. Fresh coconut costs 40 baht, that's £1, about $1.25, $1.30. Or a smoothie, again, £1, something like that, 40 baht, it's nothing. Come back, and then usually sit here with an iced coffee, do a little bit of reading, and then this is pretty much my office for the day. So on the way back from the beach, stop at this little spot here and get a little smoothie for the morning. Really cool little spot here, really nice stuff. Food's nice, it's beautiful fruit. So yeah, look, if you're new to the channel, my name is George and I am a digital nomad living here in Thailand. I left the UK 2 years ago to come here to Thailand, and I've been spending that time traveling around Southeast Asia. So I went from being in £25,000 worth of debt. I had a 248 credit score. I was paying back £1 a month on a debt repayment scheme. And since then, as I said, I've been able to become a digital nomad and work all around the world. And I make these videos to share that it is possible, and I share how I've done it so you can do it too. Now, just for complete and utter transparency, I actually split my time between this island here, which is Koh Chang in Thailand, which is, you know, in my opinion, the best island in Thailand, and Bangkok. So I usually spend 3 weeks in Bangkok and then 1 week here. It might be 4 weeks in Bangkok, 2 weeks here, something like that. That for me is a really nice ratio between city life and island life, and that's the perfect life for me. So what I want to do is share 3 really big reasons on why I left the UK to come here to Thailand, and then I want to share 4 steps that literally you can follow, or at least I followed, to actually make that happen. So the first reason I left the UK to come to Thailand was because of the weather. Like when you hit like November all the way through till like April, it's just a brutal 6-month slog of getting up in the morning, wiping ice off your car, sitting in the freezing cold waiting for it to heat up, doesn't get light till like 7:45, gets dark at 4:30, and it's just like looking into 6 months of depression and misery. And it's crazy, like I said for years and years, like, this is going to be my last winter, this is going to be my last winter in the UK. And in the end I was like, do you know what, it is. Like, I was so done with the weather, and it has been shown statistically that there is a correlation between how warm and sunny the weather is and your mood. And for me, it was just getting me down, and I just had to get out of there. Now, the second reason that I left the UK to come to Thailand was the cost of living. Like, look, everyone bangs on about it. Look, there's abundance everywhere. There's people that are succeeding in every society, and in the UK, it's no different. But for me, at least, it did seem to be that there was like this tipping point where everything was increasing so significantly. It was just that little bit harder to get ahead in life. I mean, everything, petrol was going up, right? Insurances were going up, your food was going up, your bottles of water was going up. Everything was just increasing at such a crazy rate. You know, for me, it was just like, I'm spending so much money surviving in the UK, where if I can just take that money and live abroad, I would be living such a better quality of life. So for me, it just didn't make sense just to piss away so much money on things that were just basic amenities, right? Your bills. like just keeping your lights on and keeping your house warm was just getting ridiculous. And I felt like everybody around me was just like feeling the pinch. Everybody around me was just like surviving, just hanging in there. And I didn't want that for myself. And so I was like, you know what? This cost of living was just getting silly and I didn't want to play that game anymore. And the third reason I left the UK to come here, to be honest, was just the fear of death. Like just the fear that life was just passing me by. And you know, I felt like there was so much of this world to see, to experience, like to come here and look out at a beautiful sunset, seeing the fishing boats just over the sunset, seeing the islands in the distance. Like it's an unbelievable feeling, and I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling that. I was getting up, I was getting in the car, I was going to the same Costa coffee every day, and I just knew like life was just slipping through my fingers, and I knew I wanted to make the most of life. I knew every day that passed I was getting a little bit older. Right? I would never be younger than I am right now. I'd never have more life than I've got ahead of me right now. And that fear propelled me forward into just making that decision and really making it happen. And maybe, you know, you're in a similar position right now where, I don't know, maybe your 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe a little bit later, right? 50s, 60s, whatever. And maybe there's a recognition that life is just going. And every day that passes, we've got a little bit of life left. And the best thing we can do to honor our life is to live. And I decided I didn't want to survive anymore. I wanted to live. Okay, so now let's look at the 4 steps that I actually sort of went through, or 4 parts of my journey. And the only reason I want to share the steps that I went through is so I can share them with you, so maybe, you know, they resonate with you and you can sort of use them to help change your life. So if I look at step number 4, the first thing that happened was I read a book called The 4-Hour Workweek. Now, if you've not read this book, you have to read it. It's absolutely life-changing. It's a book by a guy called Tim Ferriss. And essentially what that book did for me was it redefined work forever. Now, I had a vision for life, or my understanding of life was you go to school, maybe you do or don't go uni. I didn't go uni, right? You get a job, you get a missus, you have a kid, you get a mortgage, you retire, and you fucking die, right? And that was my understanding of what life was. And when I read this book, suddenly there was a paradigm shift. Like there was a different potential vision for the future gifted to me, bestowed to me. And this was one where you could sort of have your cake and eat it too. You didn't need to work 11.5 months a year and then go on a 2-week holiday, which is essentially an escape from your mundane life, right? Essentially, work wasn't work. It was simply a means to generate sufficient cash flow each month that funded your ideal lifestyle. And this was a paradigmatic shift for me, and it changed everything. And I recommend you read that book, or at least take this away from it, that you can have your cake and eat it too, right? You don't need to wait until you're old to start living. All you need to do is generate enough monthly cash flow from anywhere, and you can immediately 2 to 10x your level of wealth, right? You immediately can live a rich life even if you're not rich.
I just wanted to rudely interrupt my own video to let you know, if you do like this sort of thing, then I do have a newsletter that I send out called Trippy Tuesdays, where I dive into spirituality, entrepreneurship, and travel. So if that's the kind of thing you dig, please do click the link in the description and or the pinned comment and sign up if you so wish.
Now, the third step was I had this feeling of desire inside of me, right? Desire is very much seen in Buddhism as the root cause of suffering, right? It's the unhappy valley between what you have and what you want. Now, at the same time, the way that things manifest into existence is it starts with a seed of desire planted in the deepest part of your mind. And that desire, that wanting, that urging then manifests itself in the world through your actions, through your thoughts, through your emotions, and through your actions in the world. And eventually you move the puzzle pieces of this world so that you can get what it is that you truly desire. But it starts with that seed of desire. And when I read the 4-Hour Workweek, it gave me the desire to go out and see the world. And really, you need to have that desire. So I sort of ask you, I'm curious, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to connect with more people that watch my videos. What do you desire? Like, what is that thing that you want with your life? What do you desire? Now, the second thing that I did, or point number 2 in terms of my 4 steps that I sort of went through as I look back on my journey was I started an online business, right? Like, you have to be able to earn money online if you're going to go around anywhere. Like, yes, you can have cash flowing assets. Yes, you can have an online job. But for me, I wanted freedom and control over my days. I didn't just want to be able to go where I wanted control over my day. If I wanted to get up in the morning, grab a nice coffee, read a book for an extra 30 minutes before I had to, say, clock on and begin, you know, I just wanted that freedom, not just over my location, but over my day, over my calendar. And that was why I started an online business. You know, I've actually been working online for 7 years, and I started off in the e-commerce space, grew some e-commerce brands pretty significantly, and that allowed me to go and live in America for a couple of months. And then I started some online marketing agencies and doing some embedded marketing services. And again, that allowed me to go to Europe, go to Africa, and it's allowed me to live in Thailand for the last 2 years, but I've also spent months in Dubai, getting my Dubai citizenship. I've also been to other places in Southeast Asia, right? So having an online business simply gives you the ability to earn money online. And when you have the ability to earn money online, you have the freedom to choose where it is you want to go. So if you are, you know, sort of in a place right now where you're craving the ability to see more of the world, starting an online business could be a very great idea for you. Now, point number 1 in terms of this 4 steps was actually having the bollocks to do it. Now, I started working online 7 years ago, right? I could have just left the UK forever 7 years ago, but I left 2 years ago. And the reason I only went on little trips and didn't go for longer was because I didn't have the bollocks. Okay, every year I'd say to myself, this was the last winter, this was the last winter, I'm not going to do it anymore. And yet the next winter would come around, and last winter I said, you know what, I am done. Right, I am done. That was the last winter, and I actually had the bollocks to go out there and do it. You know, maybe yourself, you want to do these things, but you're scared of doing it. You're scared of the failure. And look, here's the thing. You have to make sacrifices for your dreams. But if you don't, your dreams become the sacrifice. So here's the thing, right? And please, please, please take this on board. You may regret starting an online business. There's a possibility it may fail. And there's a possibility you may regret it. But not taking that chance to create a future that you love, to create a life that you love. Not doing that, regretting that is absolutely guaranteed. Not taking action, right? And knowing that in 50 years' time, you're going to look back on your life and you're going to hate yourself for the things you didn't do, for the risks you didn't take, the business you didn't start, and the places you didn't go. If you do not take action, that is 100% guaranteed. And that, for me, I couldn't take that, right? I had to do it.
And if you're feeling left behind lately, left upon the terrestrial shell, well, baby, don't worry.
I appreciate it can be a little bit difficult to know where to start. Look, I try and share as many specific actionable things as I can that you can actually follow to go out and just make 3 to 10k a month online from anywhere in the world, so you can come and live in places like this and just make the most of your life. I also try and share a little bit about what my life is actually like here, just to try to help show you, try and give you an honest representation and insight into what it actually looks like. So why don't you just go and watch the video that's recommended on the screen right now, because I hope you get a ton of value out of that as well. But look, thank you so much for watching.
When the end comes, baby, you better